Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the TransMissions podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of TransMissions, we are joined by IDW's Transformers letterer Tom B. Long as we discuss the new pictures of Chip Chase with Masterpiece Sunstreaker. We also talk about Takara Legends God Bomber, and Iron Factory has a Shockwave figure. So let's hang our 6-foot Millennium Falcons and rest our feet on the USS Flagg, because we're about to start TransMissions.
Did you want to know how to help out TransMissions? Check out our support page at transmissionspodcast.com/support. By donating, you will get some great extras, including bonus podcast content and the option to listen to live recordings of the show.
Welcome to TransMissions, the podcast that can't wait for Masterpiece Jazz. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent TransMissions team. Yusuf, better known as Yoshi.
Yo!
Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's talk Transformers.
We have recorded 3 episodes today, and you cannot settle on one way to do your fucking bit.
It's completely on purpose.
I know.
Anyway, guys, stop insulting each other because we've got a guest. We're pleased to welcome to the show Mr. Tom B. Long, the letterer extraordinaire for IDW Comics. He does all the Transformers comics and lots of other comics besides those. And we did an interview with him that will be up shortly, so you can listen to that and listen to how comics get made. So you know all about the artists and the writers, but you don't know about the production and the lettering. And that's really important stuff. And we're really happy to get Tom on, and he's graciously agreed to sit in on all the shows this week. So thanks, Tom, for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for submitting to all my demands for changes to the comics, too. Means a lot to me.
Sure. Absolutely. Do you want me to change the font on anything?
No. The font choices are good, sir.
Need more
Those
Comic
I like.
Sans. The Transformers logo in Comic Sans, please.
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh.
Challenge accepted.
And Yoshi will get the blame.
He's never coming on again. I want you to fucking understand this.
All right. Well, as you may not know, that Tom is also a big Transformers fan, so it's great to have Tom on, and he's gonna talk some toys with us.
Yes.
All right, well, let's start off with toy news. Daryl, what do you got for us?
I got a quick one for us this week because I thought that it would be prudent to just get it on with the rest of everyone else's topics because everyone else had some better ones than I did. We got a teaser image this week from DX9 Toys. Apparently, there is room for 2 MP scaled Omega Supremes in the market. So they're also going to attempt a Mega Supreme in MP scale. They're going to call him Gabriel. He is their D12. And the teaser image is horrible. It's literally just a really out of focus picture of their render, but it's Omega Supreme. And if he's, I honestly, like, we had the discussion back when Fans Toys said that they were doing a MP scaled Omega Supreme. The discussion was back, could the market support a figure this big? Well, now they got a second one coming to market, and I don't think that the market can support 2. Quick roundtable, what do you guys think? Yes or no? Can it do it?
I still don't know if it can support 1.
It really depends on the run count. I mean, they could figure out how many they need to sell to be, to make a profit on it and, just make enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think DX9's been around long enough. They understand the ins and outs of the business, and
yeah,
but I think it's probably going to be a fairly small run if it's going to be, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sergio said in the chat, sell one for $15,000. Boom, profit.
There you go. I don't know. Yoshi, this is this is the scale that everyone seems to want to get into. They want to stick with Masterpiece scale, but a Masterpiece scale Omega Supreme is kind of a bit much, especially for two companies here. What do you think, Bud?
Yeah, I like the question, but you're asking me to answer it based off a computer rendering of a picture that looks like it came from a Nokia first generation cell phone camera. I'll tell you what, people are going to, if either of these are motorized, people are going to flock to them. I feel like with all the interviews of big time collectors and stuff that I read online, there's no shortage of expendable income people have to buy shit. I don't see one household owning two Omega Supremes. I do see two Omega Supremes hitting the market and then people deciding which one they want based off those initial reviews, because that's a lot of money to throw down.
Mm-hmm. True. Tom, would this have any place in your house?
Honestly, probably not. I don't have a lot of room for toys these days because I'm probably the only person in the country who owns 2 6-foot Millennium Falcons. So my girl does not let me get new toys.
Dude.
Talk about burying the lead.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to TransMissions, the Star Wars podcast.
Right on. Well, that's all I had to bring to the table.
Wait, hang on. Hold on. Where do these guys sit in your house?
One hangs from my living room ceiling, and the other one is taking up basically an entire car space in my garage. So
holy shit!
Would you please send us a picture so we can use that as our image this week?
Please.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Happy to.
Be awesome.
Holy crap.
That's amazing. And congratulations on getting a woman, willing to you at least have one of them hanging.
She's a keeper.
This is what I picture. You two sitting at your couch wanting to watch a movie, and you're having to look around the Falcon to see the television.
We have vaulted ceilings, so it's just above the TV
Holy
space. It works out.
Christ.
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty if you ever watch
foyer.
Star Trek on your TV with the Millennium Falcon just sitting right there glaring at you?
No, because I like both. So
The next
it's okay.
time, Tom, you give an interview, you open with this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No,
Wow.
we just now got to toys. Before it was comics.
He's got a point.
If need be, one of those could probably be turned into like a toddler bed or something.
It crossed my mind. Yes, but I don't want it to be peed on.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Well, that's awesome.
Let's take a minute and catch our breath here.
Tom just blew our minds for
and here's the thing
time
your
this
girlfriend
night.
needs to understand. You've got this thing in your vaulted ceiling. You guys weren't using that space. You should be allowed to have
Right,
more toys.
Actually, we picked this place because of the ceiling, so I'd have some place to put it. That's how it happened.
How do you...
You got to keep her.
Yeah, first of all, props to her. Do you have to use steel cable to suspend this thing?
Yeah, it's wire. Yeah, it's cable. They are the Millennium Falcon Extraordinaires that were the display models at Toys R Us back when they did the special editions of the movies and they relaunched all the toys.
Mm-hmm.
So you could only get them if you won the raffle for the Rosie O'Donnell charity auction thing. I did not win, but I was on Craigslist for years to score them. And sure enough, people had to move and did not want to take it with them. So I swooped in with cash.
Holy shit.
I'm looking at
Wow.
pictures of this. There's like a picture of a guy with one on his car. Jeez.
That's Tom.
It's insane.
Were there like one at every Toys R Us store? Or are there that many out
Yeah, there were one for every toy store. So I think there were about 700 made, and some of them were too damaged or worn out to be sold. So I don't remember. I think there's like 500 left.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I think there was an episode of Comic Book Guys where they sell one, but I didn't catch that episode.
Why do you need two?
Well, I'm going to display one, but it's going to get UV damage, so I got to keep the other one in the box.
You think just like I do.
That's how it works.
Charles gives me so much shit for buying two masterpieces at a time.
I gave you a little bit of shit. I didn't give you. I haven't.
At least you take one out, Yoshi.
Right, yeah. To justify the fact I bought two. All right. Thanks for derailing us, Tom.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. You learn now. Next time.
No,
when we do an interview.
That's the way to derail a podcast. That was awesome.
Yeah, if you're going to derail, the bar now is you have to be better than a 6-foot Millennium Falcon. John Paul has now a challenge.
Yes. 10-foot Starship Enterprise.
He would go with the Defiant because he's a Deep Space Nine fan.
It's true, he would.
So let's move on to Jeremy.
All right. I have pictures of the LG-42 God Bomber that Takara has released. Looks like it's arriving in people's hands. And I will say this thing looks great. We've got reports. Chad Sherlock in our chat gave us a link to a YouTube video showing a lot of the complaints, but apparently the joints are pretty loose on it.
Well, Chad actually has it, so he has personal experience.
Oh, well, yeah, but he also sent us that YouTube video so everyone could see, but he's not happy with it. This YouTube guy is not happy with it. Daryl is accepting the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
There is a picture here in the TFW thread of God Jinrai with the God Bomber armor on it next to
Overlord.
Yeah, next to Overlord, and it looks great. Sergio was saying that's Carnifex. Mm-hmm. I guess I should have known from the little chest Power Masters. We've got lots of pictures on this. And one of the surprising things was the legs actually have Combiner Wars ports on them. So you can take a Combiner Wars figure and put that as the legs on God Bomber, which is a pretty neat little thing that they added. So I guess, Daryl, we'll start off with you. What are your thoughts on all these pictures and the challenge of de-loosening it?
Well, I was surprised as everyone else was when the people started getting them and they noticed that the legs actually were Combiner Wars ports. So a couple, one of the guys shot up some pictures with God Bomber with actually having some Combiner Wars figures as legs. Looked pretty cool. The video and the subsequent hate that the figure is receiving from our own Chad and this guy's video, yeah, it's concerning. I've seen loose figures before. I've had figures that are really bad and hard to stand. Yeah, it's it sucks. It's not fun to have to work with those, but there are things you can do. You can take them apart and you can put shit in them to tighten shit up. And yeah, it's not fun to have to fix something that's brand new, but yeah, you gotta kind of think around it, and try and fix it. So yeah, it'll be a challenge, and I'm always up for kind of fixing that kind of stuff. So I don't want to have to do it. I'd rather not, but I'll take a look at it and see what I come up with. I'm still excited. I still think in combined mode that it looks amazing, and that's the final outcome for me, is to get it to look like that. And personally, if this is as bad of a widespread thing as it may in fact be, somebody will make a fix for it. Something will be done. But I mean, I've invested money in this. I mean, obviously, I have the first figure, the Power Master Optimus Prime, and I've got the first add-on kit from Perfect Effect. I've got the second one coming. And that's a big investment. So yeah, I'm in this one. It's worth my while to fix it.
Yeah, well, you're getting a lot of flack in the chat for investing into all these add-ons. But
hey, you got to risk it to win it.
Yeah.
If you too would like to give Daryl flack, you can join our Patreon.
What do you win?
The ability to give Daryl flack.
So, I mean, how about the rest of you? Change your opinion of the figure at all?
I mean, yeah, this doesn't sound great, but I think I still want this figure just to have the new God Bomber and the Jinrai, just because I never had the originals as a kid, and they look, like good updates, even with these issues. So I mean, honestly, I mean, you guys know how often I don't take these things out of the packaging, and they're already giving me shit for that in the chat. I still think I'm gonna invest in this God Bomber and have it with my Jinrai. I already have the Jinrai. I'm willing to get the God Bomber and see how it is.
Cool. Any other comments?
I'm waiting to see the fallout between all you guys getting this figure.
All right. Well, we'll have it at TFCon most likely, so maybe Daryl and I can do a video or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could do a video of Daryl fixing his.
I'll bring my
Right.
tools.
All right. Well, that's all we got on God Bomber.
All right, Yoshi. I think you've got some Masterpiece news this week.
I do. We've got some really high-res images of Masterpiece 39 Sunstreaker, as well as an interview with a translated interview with the design team behind Sunstreaker. And at first blush, I'm really liking how this guy looks, and I'll be honest with you, I'm having trouble looking past Chip Chase because I would love to have Chip Chase, and I'm really thinking about putting a pre-order in for this guy. But I do want to ask Derail, because I know with MP Shockwave, MP and MP Megatron, Derail, you were very adamant that you were going to stick with the third-party versions of those guys. Where are you on Sunstreaker?
I'm in the exact same space. I'm sticking with my third-party version. Bad Cube's Sun Surge is a fantastic figure. Just because the official company puts out a figure the year after doesn't mean that Bad Cube's version is subsequently terrible now. It just means it's not official. It's exactly the same as it meant it before. It's just, now there's an official counterpart. I still think that, obviously nobody's seen this thing in hand. Everyone's got the same pictures that everyone else has from this magazine scan. So yeah, it's interesting to see the fallout. The hours that these pictures went up, people had their Sun Surges on Facebook groups, up on eBay, getting rid of them because they knew that this was coming out and they didn't want to have both, and they wanted to be able to get top dollar or close to top dollar for their Sun Surges. So, Sun Surge at the time was, back in the day, was sold out everywhere, would go for over $40 more than what it retailed for. Now it's going for $50. Now if you want a Sun Surge, now is the time to get a fucking Sun Surge, right? You can get it for $50. It's easy. The third party versus official debate is raging right now. It's quite the hot topic. There was an article written by Maz, who does a lot of those collector articles for TF Source, and it was more of a reaction article to the announcement of MP39. So it was really good. It looked at a lot of what he could tell were a lot of the differences between Masterpiece Sunstreaker and Sun Surge from Bad Cube. Unfortunately, we all knew it when Sun Surge came out that the other third-party company one was, I believe it was
Omnigonics.
Yeah, and their spin out. Unfortunately, it wasn't any good. The construction on it was not great, so it really just doesn't get any kind of play at all in the discussion. But yeah, so he really went through the comparisons between Sun Surge and the Masterpiece one here and laid it out and said, yeah, so this one does a lot here. This, and then Sunstreaker does this better than Bad Cubes does here, but Bad Cubes does this differently, and this might be considered better here. So, there's a lot of plus and minuses that you can tell, and until you actually get the Masterpiece in hand, it really is more of a guessing game right now. You may get this Masterpiece in hand, and the paint may suck. Paint on modern Masterpiece Transformers has been terrible. Now, from what I can tell, the interview does address that. It does say that they've gone in and taken a lot of that to heart, knowing that the paint chipping has been a big issue on their Masterpiece figures recently. Paint should be better on Masterpiece Sunstreaker, right? But there has been some issues with modern Masterpiece recently. So the one thing that is you can buy a Sun Surge right now, and you can hold it in your hand and you can look at it and you can be able to tell what it does, what it's capable of. It is a complex transformation. Masterpiece Sunstreaker may not be complex. It may be very straightforward. All this is very speculative right now because we really only have these pictures. For what it's worth, I really like my Sun Surge figure. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm sticking with it.
Okay. Tom, follow that up.
I have 2 6-foot Millennium Falcons. Where do you go from there?
Have you looked or messed with any of the Masterpiece Transformers figures, Tom?
Oh yeah, a few have come through the office. A couple of the guys collect them. So yeah, I've checked them out. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're not 6-foot Millennium Falcon cool, though.
No, they're not that cool.
Okay, Jeremy, how much do you like yellow?
I like yellow, but I've never been the biggest Sunstreaker fan. I've been more of a sideswipe guy. I like a lot about this. I mean, like in car mode, how they have the headlights come up and, hood, and they've put a lot of neat things in here, but it just, for me, it looks like it has another figure with a huge backpack, and there's something about the head that just seems off to me. I think it might be like the things on the side of his head. Just, I don't know. Just something about that is off to me. If I were to get it, the only real reason would be the Chip Chase, and that's not the reason to get a Masterpiece toy. And Chip doesn't even come with a floppy disk with Optimus's brain on it. So,
all right. Well, Charles, the back kibble is a concern. How are you taking that?
I mean, for me, I am not the biggest Sunstreaker fan either. I mean, but the other thing that's kind of bothering me is that the pre-order prices that went up were north of, I think, $120 for this guy. And the other, like, if you think about Sideswipe, which would be a comparable size, Masterpiece, he was like, I believe $60 or, maybe $80 at a high point. But, so, I mean, maybe that's because of the complexity of the Sunstreaker figure. He does seem to have a little bit more details and gimmicks with the, the doors swinging up and the lights and the hoods and Chip Chase and everything, but it's hard to justify that additional price. I mean, unless you really, really like Sunstreaker.
Well, they did give it some extra bits. Obviously, Chip Chase, they gave it a mask from that one episode. They gave it a bunch of different faces, but the biggest difference is going to be that engine piece that goes on the back, and that's going to be considered an accessory. If it's mentioned in the article that Maz wrote, the biggest hurdle that they had to get over for this figure was the licensing, because the original Sunstreaker mold was a concept Lamborghini from back in the day that was some kind of supercharged blah blah blah, and essentially it never got roadworthy, and Lamborghini did not want to give over the license to produce a toy of this thing. So that was really, a big, huge hurdle for them. So if you look in one of the pictures, I believe it's the second page of pictures. Yeah. They have down at the bottom, this is essentially just a yellow Lamborghini Countach with this engine accessory. So at its core, it is not the proper car that Sunstreaker is. Now, when you want to compare, Bad Cube doesn't give a flying fuck about Lamborghini's licensing. So they made the proper they made the proper car. Yeah, sure, the back end, the tail lights or whatever are not quite right. That had more to do with transformation than anything. But they still produced that engine compartment that was completely transformable. And they didn't have to remove anything. So yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, you gotta take a look at all these bits and pieces here if you're going into this. It's a really cool transformation. They took the exact same car that was Masterpiece Sideswipe and transformed it completely differently and got a completely different robot look out of it, which I applaud that. That's a awesome engineering. I really love it when they can do that. Two cars that in alt mode look identical but transform absolutely differently. It's phenomenal to me that they have people with brains that can do that. I love it.
Can they get any other uses out of this mold? Or there are alternate Takara colors I'm not aware of?
There's two that I know of Diaclone molds. One is a red coloring, and the other one is a police car. They had a police car out of this mold. Yeah, so at least two that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, Charles. That's what I got.
All right. Well, I guess that comes back to me. And I am going back to our good friends at Iron Factory, who have continued their Legends scaled third-party figures. And now they are bringing out a Legends class Shockwave. And he's called Bridge Watcher. Iron Factory EX21 Bridge Watcher.
Good name.
and he looks pretty cool. He's I guess in the gun mode, the barrel of the gun is on his back as a backpack, I think.
It looks like it.
Yeah, but he looks cool, and I like the purple of the body, and then the translucent purple of the hands and the gun arm, and yeah, nice little Shockwave representation. Of course, he probably doesn't have the lights and sounds that the original Shockwave had. I would be impressed if he did, but yeah, he looks good. Daryl, what do you think of this guy?
I like him a lot. He looks very good. I also like the fact that Iron Factory's getting back to their like single packed, one-off figures. This is they've done a lot of their, multi-packs or combiner packs, or the packs that come with a trailer, because that Optimus had the trailer bit, so they're much more expensive. This should be a nice, cheaper pack. You can get into fairly inexpensively for about $40, probably less than that. But no, it looks really good. Very articulate. They got him in a whole bunch of poses here.
Yeah, he comes with 6 different hands that you can pop on and off.
Looks really good.
Keep the hands and give me an Energon cube.
You've already got some Energon cubes.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if I was buying this guy, I don't know if I need 6 different hands. I just need I need a set of hands and an Energon cube. I mean, what the fuck was he? Why is he called Bridge Watcher if he's not waiting for Energon to show up?
Tom, what do you think of this guy?
I think he looks pretty rad. I like the pose that they've got him in. He looks pretty articulate, so it'd be fun to set him up on my USS Flagg and recreate some G.I. Joe versus Transformer scenes.
You have a what
You
now?
have a USS Flagg? Like how you just slid that in there.
You're just being a dick now. It's the end of the show. It's the end of the day. Like, I'm just going to slide these in and
I don't
piss
have any
everybody
toys.
Well, yeah, I picked up a USS Flagg a couple of years back, off Craigslist. It's where you shop.
Like,
Isn't that also around 6 feet?
It's 6 feet. Yeah, it's actually almost 7.5. Actually, it's pretty big.
Oh my
Do you
God.
use an app for Craigslist? What the fuck are you doing?
This is why all our recent Transformers comics have Craigslist listings in the text instead of the dialogue.
Yeah, no, I lucked out. I found one because growing up in the 80s, you always want the toys that you couldn't get when you were a kid.
Tell me you got the fucking box.
The box? No.
The box. Okay.
I wish I had the box. I know a guy locally who has one, but no, I don't. It's 95% complete. I got a few pieces I got to hunt down, but it's nice. It's actually it's got a backstory. It actually traveled to Uzbekistan and back.
Oh wow!
The guy got it from was a Marine, and he took it when he was stationed over there, and then brought it back.
Oh, wow.
On the water?
Yes,
They
Daryl,
just
he
tied it to the
sat
back
on
of the
it.
real ship.
Just paddled his way over.
There's hardly any salt damage to it whatsoever.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Okay, so I'm pulling up Craigslist, or if I'm Canadian, Kijiji. I'm saving some fucking searches.
All right. After that, I kind of don't care anymore. But Jeremy, what do you think?
So I happen to have my own USS Flagg. I'm kidding.
Nice.
No. I think this thing does look great. I've never actually had a Shockwave, except for the little tiny one that came out recently, like a couple years ago. This would be a convention pickup for sure. I mean, I know this is another little one, but it looks good, and the prices look to be around $35 or so. I mean, I think, yeah, this would be something that if I saw it, it would be high on my list because it looks great.
Nice. Yoshi, did you have any additional thoughts?
No, I can't think right now.
Tom, do you collect any normal size toys?
Normal size.
Everything
Good
has to be in
question.
scale with those.
Well, I do collect some of the Sideshow 1/6 scale stuff, so I have some of those figures.
Oh, those are
Sit
also
on top of
huge
my-
action figures.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of on the large side.
They have to be in scale with the toys, the ships and stuff you collect, right?
I try.
All right. Well done.
All right. Well, that's all the toy topics. Let's move on to some KO Korner.
This week is, I was going to talk about it last week, but we got better pictures this week, so I wanted to definitely focus on it now. I hazard at calling this actually a KO, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is the Wei Jiang NE01 New Evolution Megatron. This is that amalgamation of Megatrons that Wei Jiang has kind of been putting together and making their own figure. The series of pictures that we've got run through, one of the details that I haven't actually noticed before is when they show the pictures of the Megatron holding the Laserbeak figure, it is which is also the silencer for his gun mode. They make a mention of it saying it's only in first edition. So if you want to get this figure and want to get the Laserbeak silencer, you got to get the first run. So if this is an interest to you, you might want to grab at that. Another thing that they have in these series of pictures is, guess what? It's got the beat up chest and bashed in face that the MP36 had. That was probably a really quick, thing that they could do, seeing that MP36 was going to do it. So they threw that on there.
You just have to take the mold and like toss it on the ground, step on it, and then make a new mold from it.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's something else. This thing here, some pre-orders did go up at AliExpress. They were for $94. The pre-order came down. I haven't checked recently if it's been put back up, but that's about the price that you're going to be paying, just under $100 US. It's saying it's expected in the third quarter of this year, 2017, and the height is 310 millimeters. So 31 centimeters. That's big. Jeremy, you got your just over a foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. It looks good. It's in they have it size compared with the clear MP10. I'm not sure what size that is. I think that's the bigger one, the oversized MP10. But anyway, you know the size at just over a foot. It does show some of the accessories in these series of pictures. What do you guys think of this thing? It's definitely an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different molds, but it seems to work. Any interest here from, let's go with Yoshi. This is a really G1 looking Megatron here, man.
You're right, Daryl. This is very G1. This definitely has personality to it that's not in the current Takara MP3 Masterpiece version. I think someone choosing to buy this is going to choose it because they just like the personality that it's conveying. It's definitely got unique facial expressions on them, and it's very cool.
It's interesting because the one thing that I'm really interested in is kind of the least G1-ish of the figure, and that's the Laserbeak silencer.
Yeah, me too. I kind of want just that.
Yeah, I just think that looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see one of these in person. So, I mean, I'm sure that they'll end up at conventions and stuff like that, and we'll hopefully be able to see them. But yeah, I don't know what the price will be at that point. Jeremy, would this be something that you might think of getting?
I'd consider it.
Definitely cheaper than an MP36.
I don't really see anything on this that I have a big problem with. It looks like they took the best parts of all the other ones that are out there and kind of made them work together. And, I really like it. So, if I were to get Masterpiece Megatron, I might end up getting this one because, Takara's had their chance with me. Mm-hmm. They blew it. I'm sure the new one is a lot better than the one I got, but come on.
Well, I think
still can't unload that MP5, right?
Yeah. Still for sale.
I feel like one of the things this thing's got going for it, though, is the fact that the current MP Megatron is sold out.
Also, really expensive, but sold out too. Tom, you interested in Megatron? I know he's not 17 feet tall, but he is a Megatron.
It does look pretty badass, I think. Yeah, it looked good also on the US flag, peering into the superstructure, me staring down one of the Joes. Yeah, I think it'd work.
You might be able to pose Cobra Commander on his shoulder.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Right on. Well, that's what I had for KO Korner this week, Charles.
All right, well, continue on with some rapid fire toys.
Absolutely, positively, definitely. Nobody can get the job done faster than I can. Nobody.
All right. Well, it's been a while since I did rapid fire toys. And what I've got first for topic number 1 is a comparison between the 2 Brutokai that we saw last week from Zeta Toys and their Armageddon and Unique Toys and their Ragnarus. So take a look at the picture that we've got there. This is thanks to Cheem, and he put the 2 pictures up there showing the 2 prototype figures with the arms from Zeta Toys and the legs from Unique Toys. So take a look and see what you see there and which one may be of interest to you. We have MP37 Art Fire in package pictures. This is the 3rd reuse of the Inferno mold, and they will start shipping out. They have started shipping out, so yeah, they're on their way. So you should be getting a Target Master with this guy. Yeah, cool. So be on the lookouts for that if you are interested. Topic number 3, possible Legend or Titans return Orion packs, or possibly Crosshairs is coming. A figure was posted up on the Planet Iacon Facebook page that showed a recolor of the Titans Return Cup mold in a very Orion Paxian looking color scheme, red body, blue accents, that kind of thing. And we've seen Orion Pax figures before. Generations had one, and maybe we might be getting another one. Who knows? Take a look there and let us know what you think. Topic number 4, Transformers Last Night Optimus Prime Dual Model Kit. I don't know what this means, but there is a model kit for Tool with Transformers The Last Night Optimus Prime, and I don't know what the dual form is, but maybe you get 2 different heads. Cool. Yeah, excellent. Topic number 5, new prototype images of Fans Toys and their Rouge figure. That's the RC Masterpiece styled RC figure. We got nice new images of her. Looks like she has at least 2 face sculpts, one with a visor down and one with no visor. So take a look and see what you see there. It may also come with, they look like they've done two breastplates. I'm not sure if one's different than the other, but take a look and see. There is also a Digibash showing what her color scheme might look like. Her alt mode looks fantastic. So if you are a fan of RC and have been digging a third-party option for RC, this may be the one you're looking for. And that's rapid fire.
Well done.
I've been practicing.
Good man.
Guess that's why they call it rapids instead of slow pids.
Jesus.
No one watches The Simpsons?
No, Charles.
All right, well, that's all for toys. All right, let's move on to some trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformers stuff we got this week. This is a video that we do on YouTube, so you can see all the things we bought in beautiful high definition via webcam. And you can also listen to it right here, because we put the audio right here in the show, so keep on listening. But then go check out that YouTube video as well. And without further ado, let's go on to some trips to the store. All right, let's start off with Yoshi.
I got a question for Tom, since Tom seems to like to brag about the largest toys in the 80s ever fucking made. Do you know what the largest Optimus Prime was that was ever made?
You know, I don't.
Daryl?
Like on a mass scale?
I'm literally giving you
or just one-offs? Just show what you have. The MPO1 is probably the mass scale one. Oh, you got a cookie jar. Well done.
I picked up the Optimus Prime head cookie jar.
And now your little pre-show bit makes sense.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because you can't have a cookie jar without fucking cookies. I also got
Jeremy, play the clip. Play the clip, Jeremy.
God
Play the clip.
damn it, Yoshi!
I so love doing this podcast. I also got the box. It's got tape on very unfortunate areas. I got to figure out how to remove it and restore it gently. But I'm pretty happy with it. So is my tummy.
That was your grail, wasn't it?
It became a grail. Now I got to find a new grail.
So is the life of a collector.
You know, it's interesting. Like, I wonder how many of these things exist. Because searching forums and stuff for this thing, like, everybody talks about having them as a kid and breaking them. And saying that there's hardly any in existence, but I don't know what any means. Like 5, like 20, like 300. But it holds cookies.
Well, I think you know your next mission. You need to write letters to every person alive and ask them if they had a cookie jar.
I'll settle for winning trips to the store, thanks.
Just a cookie jar.
It's the head
Doesn't
of
even
Optimus Prime.
transform.
Yeah, it's not even a toy.
Do you know how long I worked? I had to bake cookies. Fuck
I thought you said your
everybody.
wife baked those cookies.
She did,
right.
actually. I wasn't going to do it. She did it. It was like, I really can't do this bit without cookies.
Yoshi, if you put another cookie in your mouth,
All right, I'll quit eating.
don't do it.
It was really fucking good. They're Otis Spunkmeyer.
So she didn't actually make them.
I literally got this thing last Sunday. And I was like, God, I wish I was on the show.
So
I
you had
just
a
fucking
week to
own
make
the show.
cookies.
And I worked on this bit so hard.
Obviously not.
And you guys don't fucking care how much effort I put into every fucking show. I don't think you own a colossal fucking Optimus Prime head, Jeremy.
No, but if I want cookies, I know how to make them. You go and get the slice and bake, and there you go.
I want something very bad to happen to you.
All right, Jeremy, what do you got? Let's move it on.
All right, continuing on with my subscription service figures. This is the bonus figure that was included in the last shipment from FunPub. This is Shattered Glass Starscream, which is kind of like a Starscream in Jetfire colors. And I mean, the paint job on this is real nice. It's I can't remember which one of the aerial bots it was made from, but it's your typical aerial bot from Combiner Wars. And there's the red Decepticon symbols. Don't really have many complaints on this guy. I mean, he's a Combiner Wars figure, and we've all seen all of those. I mean, the biggest thing about it is the paint, and the paint looks fantastic on it. Head mold, I guess that could be the one complaint. I expect Starscream to have kind of a scowl or a smile. I don't know if this will pick up, but
It's a little blurry.
No, it's Starscream. It's not Blur.
haha. The face on that, just I don't know. I mean, it might just be the mold of what they were stuck with, but the face, just the expression could be better. The paint's fine, but just the expression could be better. But that's what I got this week.
Maybe Shattered Glass Starscream is more dull surprise expression rather than
Yeah, he's just
smirking.
instead of always scheming, he's always the brunt of the practical jokes and stuff.
All right, let's go to our guest, Mr. Tom B. Long.
Oh, okay. This is something I've had for a little while here. Oh, it's heavy. I picked up a while back the... see that?
God damn it.
The RoboCop 1/6 scale Ed 209 from Hot Toys.
Wow.
Battle damage version. So it's got the blown off arm.
It's good to be a fucking letterer on a comic book.
Right there.
Christ.
See?
Fuck.
Awesome.
If you've never picked up a Hot Toys, these things are pretty dope. They the joints are always nice and tight, and they pose really well. They put all the detail. The one drawback to this one, this is the first gen. They use neoprene mesh for I guess he'd be the screen on his head, and over the years it just deteriorated and cracked all over. But it actually adds to the look. It looks more battle damage that way. But I guess in later versions they fixed it. But that's what I got.
Nice.
Sorry, it's not out of the box. I haven't displayed it lately.
It's all right, Charles.
And if you go listen to the rest of our show, you'll hear about Tom B. Long's other awesome collection. He just slipped in during the show that he has 2 6-foot Millennium Falcons and a USS Flagg aircraft carrier.
He's a very humble guy. He
No
doesn't
big
like to
deal.
brag.
Yeah, not a big deal.
He's got Wonka's
Well,
golden ticket. Only 5 of those fuckers.
Just 2 of them. Just 2 of them.
Well, I'll go next. Save Daryl for last as usual, because we saved the best for last, Daryl. So you might have, if you are following me on Twitter, you might have seen that I got to go see the Rick and Morty Don't Even Trip road trip. They came to the Pittsburgh area on Friday of last week.
This has a not Transformers related tone to it.
It does. For a guy
we
who
love
hates
Rick and
cookies,
Morty,
you
so it's
are
okay.
willing to sponsor other fucking franchises.
So I stood in line for a long ass time and got these stickers. They were free, so that's nice. I stood in line trying to get some nice merchandise, but by the time I got there early, but not early enough because I didn't get the merchandise I wanted. But I did get a couple of things. They limited everyone to 2 items, and even with that, they were still sold out for most stuff. So I got a Squanchy, and you put this guy in water, and he grows much bigger, just like he does in the cartoon. And I got Snowball Funko Pop figure, and this is the dog that became super intelligent, but he was voiced by Rob Paulson on the show.
Nice.
So if I ever meet Rob Paulson, I'll get him to sign this one. Rick and Morty stuff. Yeah, it's not Transformers, but it's Rick and Morty. So awesome. Morty turns into a car at one episode. So there you go. There's your Transformers.
Wow. That's a goddamn stretch.
Spoiler too.
I also, my co-host will be happy to see that I have gotten a
Yay.
mic extension cord.
Oh.
So
Can we get a return on the one we sent him, Jeremy?
Well, I would have had to not been lazy and actually gone through with that.
Oh.
I'll just deduct $5 from the.
I was actually waiting for this trip to the store just to see, and I was going to order it after.
Going to Transformers related stuff, I did get Optimus Prime number 7. Yes, 7. I unfortunately did not get the Casey Collar John Paul Bove cover at my shop. They didn't have any, but I got the K-Zama one. So that's
You
cool.
got the Tom B. Long one.
They're all Tom B. Long.
He's fucking right here, dick.
Yes, I'm the jerk, Yoshi.
Remind me never to bring fucking cookies to a hangout again.
And the final figure from a Chaos on Velocitron set, Quick Switch, aka repaint of Six Shot. So, and he's got his helmet. It's a little bit elaborate here. So the head is actually not.
Oh my god, he took it off.
The head is actually just the face. Not the rest of the head is all the helmet here that he pops into. I believe in the anime he is the son of Six Shot. So I guess he's got daddy issues. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all
It's
I got. All right, Daryl, bringing up the rear. What do you got?
I also got Optimus Prime number 7. I too couldn't get the cover I wanted. I was late to my comic book store, and most of the comics were picked clean. This is the issue that was on in my bag, but yeah. So maybe maybe Casey will have some covers at the next convention I see him at or something like that. But yeah, no, this one's still good. I picked up a complete animated figure, as I have been doing recently. This is Oil Slick. He's pretty cool. The motorcycle mode on this guy is awesome. He's pretty badass looking. I really like that. So and he's got those like barrel weapons or whatever. So yeah, he's got the 2 of those. One of them's under like the chain mesh thing, whatever he's got. He's cool. I like him. Pretty fun, posable figure. And the one figure I was holding back last week that I didn't show off, just because I had such an epic haul last week. This is weird because I've never really come across him and honestly never wanted him when I was a kid. This is G1 Skids. And he's Like, I mean, I totally get why I didn't want him as a kid, because he's like this weird van thing, and he's not overly exciting to look at as a toy. But you transform him, and he's not bad. He has no elbows, so these are literally how his arms have to go. And I mean, like, they're either pointed straight out or straight down. He's missing one gun, apparently. I thought he was complete. I was told he was complete. He is not. So I will now have to search for a gun for him. But that's cool. I've never really had any experience with skids, and he's not like the easiest transformer, but not bad for a G1. That's for sure. That's all I got.
All right. All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and let's go on with convention news.
All right, we have some HasCon news. The first thing is they announced ticket prices, so hold on to your butts. Ages 16 and up, adults, a single day ticket is $60, 3-day ticket is $165. Youth, ages 3 to 15, is $30 for the single day, and 3-day is $75. 2 and under are free. Then they have VIP packages. They have 4 different ones, and the prices range from $200 to $600. We have guests announced in the Transformers world. It's Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, and John Warden, who is the lead Transformers designer. Also, some guy named Stan Lee is supposed to be there. I'm sure that's probably a big portion of your ticket price is going to be paying his fee, because I'm sure he's not cheap. The VIP tickets have, let's just look at the $600 one. That is a 3-day ticket that includes VIP early lineup for guest panels. You must get there 40 minutes prior to the session, and it's only available to the first 50 VIPs that are in line. There's evening activities, including things like a Hall of Fame dinners, movie viewings. You get to choose from this list that they give you. You get reserved theater seating for the panels, goodie bag, and you can transport yourself to a virtual Hasbro world with their immersive green screen experience. First come, first served until they reach capacity. That sounds fantastic. So it looks like that the lower versions just have, fewer things from that list. They have a VIP, like a Superfan Dungeons and Dragons, Superfan Magic the Gathering. This is just ridiculous. I mean, we thought FunPub was gouging people for BotCons, and this is just, making you wish that you only had to pay the $300 for the BotCon. What do you guys think about this? Before we get on to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part, at least for me, is that they don't give you enough details to even know what you're getting. I mean, okay, they've announced a few of the guests, and they've announced, you're getting some exclusive something or other, but they don't tell you what it is. I mean, at least with BotCon, you knew exactly what you were getting. You're getting these figures, you're getting, to meet these guests. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is not since it's HasCon, it's not a focus on Transformers. It's all of Hasbro's brand, all other brands, So it's like, why did BotCon have to die for this to live? Why can't we still have BotCon and just have HasCon be its own thing? I don't think this is an adequate replacement for BotCon.
Although shows like TFCon don't really have anything to worry about, because this just makes me appreciate them all the more.
And I wonder, so I guess, Tom, I don't know if you know, but do you think IDW is going to have a booth here at HasCon?
I could ask and find out. I'm not sure. I assume we would, but because we used to always have a present at BotCon, so I'm assuming yes, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, I would think all of their licensees would have some kind of presence there. It'd be crazy not to.
I mean, that is the one thing that's the one advantage that an official show has over a fan-run show, is that you can get official content. Right. Like TFCon is never going to get official IDW. Well,
they were never able to get John Barber until he was no longer an IDW, editor. Right.
So, yeah, this announcement. We're talking about this, I guess, a week after the announcement, but this took the wind out of my sails for any hope I had for HasCon.
What about you, Daryl? You gonna make the drive down?
It's funny, I looked at the tickets and I was like, okay, well, one day, $60. It's an 8-hour drive, maybe a little more because it's not exactly New York. It's a little further. So yeah, I was thinking about it. There's been a couple things that have come up within these few documents that have changed my mind. It would be nice to go to an official event at some point. It would be nice to go to the first official one, kind of thing. As Charles said, there's not enough details in this details and tickets section to really make me want to do anything. I can't. As you mentioned, there's going to be something you're going to talk about in a bit that honestly really took me out of it. It was the nail in the coffin for me, and the way that I treat conventions, because I do go to a few conventions every year, and when it comes to my how I go to them, I don't generally go for the full immersive experience. I go with a mission, and I want to be able to kind of attack a con. I don't really want to, maybe attack is the wrong word, but I go to get what I need to get done because it's one day. I'm not there for all 4 days, and I go in, I get my shit done, I get exhausted, and I get out. So it just couldn't work for me.
All right, how about you, Yoshi?
Well, I mostly agree with Daryl. I don't think the pricing for an average weekend ticket is out of line when you think about everything you're getting. I mean, these are a lot of properties that there are a lot of fandoms for, and I think that I don't think that a weekend ticket at that price is unjustified. I think a $300 BotCon ticket is completely unjustified for what it is. But for this, I don't know that it is. You mentioned a couple of things that I'm really into: Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers. I mean, there's going to be big presence for both of those amongst all the other properties that make way more money.
If you get the $600 Superfan Dungeons and Dragons ticket, you get Dungeons and Dragons specific goodies, and there's a D&D live game you get a reserved seat for, stuff like that. Transformers, you get nothing. You just have to get the basic generic VIP super fan ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that Transformers, having had BotCon for so many years, would be able to have a customized super fan that would give you some exclusives, like the Magic the Gathering one. You get exclusive cards, things that are interesting to you as a fan of Magic the Gathering or as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. The Transformers one, I would think, should have something like that.
I don't know why I'm playing devil's advocate, and I'm kind of more on the devil's advocate side. Magic the Gathering is umpteenth times more popular than Transformers. Dungeons and Dragons is umpteen. My Little Pony is umpteen times more popular than Transformers. I get those things on a Transformers-centric show, but this is not that. This is a Hasbro Properties show, and Hasbro is putting its best foot forward with where it can make the most money.
Well, I mean, let's also compare apples to apples. So what was the BotCon ticket for just getting into the door? It wasn't $300. Wasn't that the Primus package?
Yeah, that $300. It was like $300 or so, or $400, I think, for the Primus package, which you got toys
and all the VIP stuff like access to the panels and everything.
If just to come in the door, I think it was like $15-$20, something like that. It was really affordable if you were just to walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the ticket that's $60 a day or $165 for 3 days.
Well, again, it's more than one property being represented. To me, this is comparable to an Emerald City Comic-Con ticket that I would pay for, and there's more there for me to do than just hang out with the Transformers guys.
Well, how about we go into one of the other things that they announced? What is the autograph signing policy? Now, Derail, you mentioned that you have specific goals for conventions. I would guess that is the autograph signing, right?
Generally, yep. That's what I do.
So what do you do with the autograph sign?
I do exactly what I did this week. I am attending a convention in Niagara Falls next weekend. So this whole week I pulled comic books from my collection.
You can't do that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
they ask that you not bring personal items to be signed unless they are Magic the Gathering cards and you can buy, or you can bring 10 per session.
but I'm not into Magic.
Artists
the
and
Gathering.
talent will only sign event merchandise purchased on the day of the event. Proof of purchase, such as a valid HasCon receipt, may be required.
But that's not conducive to anything that I want to do.
That's the rules.
Well, then I'm not going.
Yeah, this is the most asinine part of the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can argue on the prices, but if I were to go, just to try to get some autographs from, say I have an old Spider-Man book and Stan Lee's going to be there. He's not doing many more conventions. You're telling me that I can't bring that to get it signed. I have to find some vendor there that might have something related that I could buy to get him to sign. That's just ridiculous.
A whole new level of bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, what am I paying for to get in the door if I can't get things that my own personal items signed?
Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They want to keep all the purchasing in that one room.
Yeah.
Right? Or however big the space is. And some of the stuff that you might have could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, and you might want to get a signature on it. Well, you can't just up and rebuy that shit on the day of. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it goes without saying they don't allow any unlicensed product at all, but most of the people going to this event are probably going to have official product that they want to get the creators to sign.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what this convention is going to be? A pop vinyl fest.
What they should do is have one booth selling HasCon receipts for whatever you bring. Like, you give me $5, I'll print up a receipt that says, "Hey, I got this comic book here."
That's just fuck you, HasCon.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this is, if they have it after this year, they're going to have some changes, because I would think this particular policy is going to cause so much flack.
And who reads these policy things? Like, how many people are going to show up with shit and be told at the door, "No, but thanks for your money"?
No, that's the exact thing. Is it's going to change on the weekend. It'll be you'll have hundreds of people there with their own stuff, and they will riot basically with, I want to bring this in. This is my thing, and blah blah blah. And they'll be like, "Well, okay, fine. And then they'll have all the people that didn't go because they were smart enough to read the damn policies, and they'll have a shit fit on the internet, right? Saying, "Well, I didn't go because you had this policy. What the hell? Changing it at the last minute."
Yeah. Anyway, that is the convention news for this week.
# bring back BotCon.
No.
All right. Well, that's sad news from convention news. Well, let's finish up with some feedback.
And let's go to Facebook, where we have a comment from, I believe it's Richie?
Yes.
Okay. And Richie writes, "I'm currently listening to podcast episode 226, and Charles is correct, not only thinking that Ragnaros...
Yes, Ragnaros.
That Ragnaros is a WoW character. He is playable in Heroes of the Storm, but also in pronouncing his name. Sweet. I think you guys should consult Charles in pronouncing characters' names first, since he's right in pronouncing Ragnaros, but also that of Anode and one of the TransMissions alt mode Anode from one of the Transmissions alt mode podcasts.
Yes, Anode, the character from Lost Light.
They're all saying a node.
A node? A node?
Yes.
What does Ratchet turn into, Charles?
An ambulance. What do you put on your figures, Daryl?
Stickers?
What are they also called?
He got a taste of freedom in Chicago. He's good. We're working on the Limpy Bacon bullshit, but right now we're fine on the stickers. All right, Richie, thank you so much for that. And we do consult Charles. If you're a long-time listener, we consult Charles right when we're doing it. So it's a process that happens. It's free form. It works. Yeah. Thank you for your comment.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a double doctorate.
A doctor of pronouncing words. Okay.
Hey, transferable skills. We get it.
We also have some website feedback from episode 226 from Dinobot Maximize, who says, I think the Zeta Toys figure looks better. Though I do think their forearms are awfully large. Though the same can be said for their lower legs as well. Both can be a side effect of the transformation required. As for the Build-A-Bear, my daughters have seen them and like them without the marks. This is coming from 5 and 10-year-old. This is coming from 5 and 10-year-old girls. My oldest said she wanted to see them as rescue bots more. I personally want to see these as the G1 versions, and if those were made, would like to see ones of Megatron, Starscream, Grimlock, and maybe a few others. If these were made, would you be interested too? Well, I would be. I'm a sucker for anything G1.
Did you see those Build-A-Bears, Yoshi?
Yeah, no. They were fucking hideously nightmare-infused fucking pieces of cotton and shit.
So you didn't like them?
No. No. I remember when I saw them and I posted on Twitter, the stuff of nightmares. They're hideous. I can't believe that passed any kind of acceptance policy. It should be called Build-A-Fright.
The previous comment, Dinobot was talking about the third-party Brudicuses that we talked about last week. So he says he likes the Zeta Toys one better than the... What's the other one? Unique Toys? Daryl, is that right?
Yes.
No, that was a crapshoot. You have no idea what we were talking about.
Nope.
Just say hashtag Value Village and let's move on.
That's a lovely outtake.
Hey, Tom, you seem to own everything. Are you going to get a Build-A-Transformer bear?
Sadly, no. I don't think I will.
Because Tom's
Unless
not
it's
insane.
6 feet tall.
Yeah, unless it's 6 feet tall. Well, you could probably combine a bunch of them together. Well, Charles, that's what we got for feedback this week, sir. I throw the microphone back to you to close it out, and I am just rambling.
All right. Well, again, we want to thank Mr. Tom B. Long for hanging out with us all week. He's going to be on all our shows this week and has a special interview show. So Tom spent an entire evening with us and seems to still be in good spirits.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Please come back, sir. This was fun.
Thanks.
Sure will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so listen for Tom on alt mode in a couple of days and on his special interview that will be out soon. Patreons, I think, should be getting that pretty early, so check your Patreon feed if you are subscribed to the podcast. Also, just a little plug for our Patreon. We did do a special new show. We have a new show that we're premiering. It's called Transmissions Declassified. And we actually got some of our listeners to be on the show with us. So this was kind of a panel roundtable discussion about our favorite subject, the live action movies. So that is now already available to our Patreons in an unedited state. And should be up for all you normies soon, sometime.
Sometime.
We'll see.
We'll talk.
Remind us. But that does it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Later, guys.
I can confirm that the head of Optimus is filled with cookies.
Later.
Good night. Thanks for listening to Transmissions. Remember, you can help support the show by donating to us directly via Patreon or PayPal. Once you become a donor, you will receive access to donor-only goodies, like donor-only contests, listening to us record Transmissions live, and getting Transmissions swag at 20% off. You can find links for this at transmissionspodcast.com/support. Subscribing to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play is also a great way to support us here at Transmissions. Every subscription we get helps us get better noticed on those services. Leaving us a comment and 5-star review doesn't hurt either. Be sure to come chat with us on Discord. You will find a link for Discord at transmissionspodcast.com/discord. And of course, you can always send us an email at feedback@transmissionspodcast.com. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week. You really don't want to use my intro? Perfectly good intro.
I try to stay as far away as I can from Nambla. All right, we appear to all be getting picked up. Now we're all deaf.
That's how you start all podcasts.
Jeremy likes to do that to remind
You
you.
gotta deafen the host. Sorry.
We know you're in
my mic,
charge,
sorry.
Jeremy. Now let us just start the show.
I need some WD-40.
Yoshi, we can't hear you. Did you pull your mic out or something?
Of my ass, yes. Now you can hear me.
Will you quit messing with the audio stuff, Yoshi?
God damn it, Jason. Hey, Charles.
Yes.
I downloaded a free game on the blah, blah, blah.
You get rid of that nasty blob in the middle then.
Fuck you. I'm going to eat a cookie. Suck it. Doesn't your wife give you her cookies, Jeremy?
Yeah,
My wife gave me her cookies.
Her parents are here.
That means you can't have your wife's cookies?
Yeah.
I don't know where this conversation is going.
You've had your wife's cookies,
There
haven't you,
aren't
Charles?
any sweets in the house.
My cookie jar's present.
Don't drop it.
And
I know, right?
and don't be eating cookies because I'm sure you're gonna have some rants coming up.
What do you got, Yoshi?
Sticky fingers.
God damn it, Yoshi! Well, I don't want you eating on camera while we're recording the show. That's all. Not against cookies.
I'm doing a bit. Will you let me do my bit?
All right, fine. This is what you choose to spend your 1/5 ownership of the podcast on. That's fine.
Fuck you, Hascon. You Hascon. You Hascon. You Hascon. You Hascon. You Hascon.